Hey everybody, it's King once again. Welcome back to the channel. To my subscribers, if you're not a subscriber yet, go ahead and click that button. And we're back again telling ghost stories. True ghost stories from the King. What has happened to me in my life, paranormal, demonic, spiritual. Some of you guys are going to call it one or the other. So, going to start today. Going to go in chronological order, give you two stories. And the first story is when I was about 12 years old, where we was living of course, in this place. I call it this place because I hated the place because it was always something happening. In this particular instance, I came home from school and we had a rule in the house that you must wash dishes and clean up and sweep before you go out and, play basketball, football, wherever, go to a friend's house or whatever. That was our rule. So I come home on the first one at home. My sister's still in school because I was in walking distance from the school. So I walked down to the house. So I'm doing dishes. And when you're doing dishes, I had to, at the point in time, I had the water running. And I thought I heard somebody was talking behind me. So I turned around and cut the water off. You cut anything off making noise so you can try to hear what you couldn't hear with the noise being made. Now, in this instance, the noise was being made by the water. So I sat down and said, maybe just me. Maybe just me. So I cut the water back on, washing dishes. So I cut the water off, and I heard some low whispering in the pantry. Now, of course, I'm thinking to myself, I froze. I got the heartbeat increased. I'm thinking to myself, now I know I heard that. So I was dead quiet, and for me trying to feel a little brave, I just screamed into screamed and said, if that's you, my sister's name was Keita, about if that's you, Keita, playing, I'm telling you, we're gonna fight. So, I thought I'm trying to make myself feel better, knowing I'm the only one in the house, but just trying to make myself feel better and saying that somebody just playing a trick, my sister just playing a trick, trying to aggravate me. But that wasn't the case. Now, I wasn't done washing the dishes at all, but I didn't cut the water back on. I remember this like it was yesterday. So I was putting the dishes, the ones I had already rinsed off in the sink, and I heard just the whole, yes, it's like it was like two voices talking back and forth, and that was it. I had the back door open anyway, and that's where the kitchen was, back door, and the pantry was the opposite. And I was about to go past the pantry to find out what was inside of it. So I just ran out the back door and left everything there. Now, of course, my mother came in later. She was griping. You didn't wash the dishes. You knew you supposed to had to wash these dishes. I didn't tell her anything. I just kept that to myself because I knew that the first thing she tries to blame is watching scary movies and stuff like that. But I'm a very intelligent person, so I would never make this up. I know what I heard, and that's the truth. So that was a very scary incident, and more things happened, but I'll tell you about that later some other time. Like I said, if this is just in chronological order when I was 12. So let's fast forward. Now, we're going to fast forward here to when I was 16. Now, I was at a friend's house. Now, my friend's name was Randall, and of course, at the time, PlayStation was out, and we were just at his house playing PlayStation before we headed to the mall. So he never told me anything about the house as far as creepiness. He kept it to himself, but he didn't like to stay there by himself. And he mentioned to me a few times that, he kept seeing this old woman and hearing this old woman talk and things like that. And I was like, okay, because I didn't discredit him because I have experienced the same thing. I just didn't. It made you not want to go over his house. Like, hey man, you got to come meet me somewhere. So, but that day we was in his room. Now, like I said before, we was getting ready to go to the mall. So we sit in his room playing the PlayStation, and this voice calls his name. Now I never heard the voice, but I heard the voice too. So I never heard the voice before, and his voice just said Randy. Now I call him Randall. I know his name is Randy, but most of us that really know him call him Randall. So I didn't know. He answered the voice. What got me is he answered the voice, And I'm looking crazy, like, hey man, we only two in the house. Somebody come in the house. So the voice came from the doorway. Now, because we both turned and he answered what? And I'm like, hey, when did you start answering disembodied voices? So I was really freaked out, heart beating, adrenaline pumping. I'm like, So that's not the end. Now we both get up looking in the doorway in his kitchen. Now this is no lie. A cup come flying out of the cabinet, come flying out onto the floor. Now me, when that cup came flying out, that was it. I was Usain Bolt towards the door. In my car, we both jumped in my car and left his house. And I didn't come over his house for a while after that because it's on my mind. Like, no, I remember you had the voice in the cup now. I remember that. So it was really creepy. It really shook me. But those are two stories of disembodied voices, whispers, and an actual voice I've heard with my own ears. Now, if you made it this far in the video, leave a comment. Let me know if you ever heard anything creepy, voices, footsteps, things like that in your experience in your life. So that's the ghost story, true ghost stories from the King. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, click like, make sure you click subscribe and comment. And I'll be talking to you guys later. Stay safe out